Hello folks, Jonathan Milam here, and as always, I hope you're having a great day. It's early 2025, January 3rd, and I've got three horns here, just about as different as three B-flat trumpets that you could find. First one I'm going to play is a Bach Stradivarius large bore 25 bell. Then I've got a Cannonball 727. If you've never played a Cannonball, you're missing out on one of the great things in life. And another older horn. This is a Selmer Radial. Look at that valve block, tight at the bottom, 2 degrees off at the top. The reason is because when your fingers are up, they're spread. When they come down, they're not. And Maurice Andre, I believe, worked on that. Just fantastic horn. They all three have their strengths and probably weaknesses as life goes. But they're such good horns, it's hard to pick the weaknesses out. Okay, I'm going to play the same song on all three. I'm going to use a standard mouthpiece, legit, essentially a little deeper than a Bach 3C, slightly smaller diameter. Then I'm going to go to a very deep V, great soloist mouthpiece, Austin Custom Brass. And lastly, I'm going to use a Monette, which is more of a lead piece. So you'll get to hear the three horns in the legit type sound, a great, slightly mellower, deep V mouthpiece sound, and lastly, more what you could expect if you wanted to use any of these for lead or more of a commercial sound. Okay, going to start off with the Bach Stradivarius. As I mentioned, large bore. Strange thing about large bore, I don't think many people understand this. This uses the same tuning slide as a medium large or even the medium bore. Same slides as the medium large, medium bore. The only difference I believe that I've found is the ports on the valve pistons are a little bigger on the large bore, and strangely enough, it's a large bore. Bach liked to balance his horns out. This is the smallest of the Strad bells. Very easy to control. The only place that I feel a little bit of something to push against is actually the back end of the horn, which I really like. I think this is one of the easiest horns to control. 462 bore, and that is going to be measured right near the second slide, but the valve ports are what's going to give us that slightly larger feel. Same lead pipe as a medium large or medium bore. I believe this is a 25. Great horn. We're going to play, since it's the new year, Old Lang Syne, Shall Old Acquaintance Be Renewed. Starting with the Bach Stradivarius. This is vintage. It is a corporation bell, early 70s, maybe 70, possibly 71, something like that. Okay, I should say a couple of things. At the moment, all three of these are for sale. The first line in the comment section will take you to a link to Trumpet Herald, where they are available, and a little more information there. Also, if you go to the bottom of the comment section, sometimes you have to hit a little more link to go to the bottom of that. Each of these 9 clips will be set up in order, so you can click from one directly to the other if you want to hear the Strad with the GR64, MX mouthpiece that I'm using. And then you want to hear it with the deeper cup mouthpiece, deep V, larger drill size, if you want to hear with the lead, or if you want to hear just all three of these horns with, say, the lead piece at the end. Gives you the option there. You can click back and forth. Okay, this is a Cannonball 727, probably because it's more of a 72 type bell. I'm guessing 727. Very nice horn. I had several of these Cannonball trumpets when they were made by B&S, large music company in Germany. This was made by Kanstul. Very light bell, almost like new. A fellow in Dallas bought it for his son, and then his son decided he wanted to play French horn. So hardly a scratch on it, just about as shiny and new as can be. Of course, I've tried to break it in for you. I've got one tiny little ding right about there. It's so small, I don't think you can see it. Must have hit it on a music stand when I was setting it down. But I can feel it sometimes, and occasionally if you get it the right view, you can see it. It's just right about there. Very, very hard to see. Magnificent horn, fantastic valves, not even broken in. Tremendous compression. First valve, and it was the third. Cannonball makes a tremendous saxophone, which they're more popular for, but they got a good trumpet person in and started making trumpets probably 10 or 15 years ago. And just every one of these that I've had was nice, but it's kind of nice to have one made by Kanstul, which of course was a very fine brass company. Okay, same thing, GR64MX mouthpiece on the Cannonball 727. Okay, had the third valve stick. I'm using the thinnest valve oil I've got. I usually use Ultra Pure, but I'm trying out some La Tromba, their thin valve oil, and we'll see if the Cannonball likes that as we go on. Okay, strangely enough, this Selmer Radial 462 bore, like the Bach Strad, may be the same year, early 70s for this as well. Big bell. Big bell. If you like to put out a lot of sound, you're looking for a horn that will take all the sound you can give it, this is a delightful horn to have. Selmers, for some reason or other, seem to intimidate me a little bit. I had an almost new Chorus 80J years ago, weeks old, and I was intimidated by that trumpet. They're a little heavier than some horns, tremendous craftsmanship, but for some reason it just seems to me that they would fit better with a power player than with me. Now, although this is 53 years old, something like that, good shape, silver, I don't know if you can see that, but there are some little scratches along the bell. Personally, I think a good buffing would do wonderful there. Couple of signs of wear. The first is where somebody rests their third finger up there, and also on the bell, if you can see it, there's just a little bit of wear there as well, where probably somebody's upper finger and also the center of their pointer finger perhaps rubbed up against that spot. I believe that's just about it. Nice horn, little signs of wear, but by and large, I don't believe it has been abused at all. Excellent valves, and Selmer puts out such a tremendous trumpet. Okay, we'll give the radial a shot as we have the others with Auld Lang Syne. Now I'll say this, a lot of soloists like to keep a radial on hand. I don't know why. I suppose because they enjoy the fact that it can give them so much volume. But that's just a guess. Well-made horn, though. Well-made horn. It's not a one-trick pony, I don't think, by any stretch of the imagination. Now, I've said many times, I've referred to this as a soloist mouthpiece. This is an Austin Custom Brass TA-TF, Trent Austin Trumpet Flugel. But unlike most trumpet flugel mouthpieces, it's got a very livable drill size. I think it's about a 24. It's made so that it's really hard to feel. The cup just kind of goes in to the drill size, the back bore. Very, it's not an inverted cup that goes into the back bore, but just kind of, how do I say that? Just kind of spreads as it goes in. Really great piece. If I wanted to show you dark, I'd pull out a Reeves C2J, 11 size drill. But I think this is still a very usable mouthpiece above the scale, but you can lay off the gas and get a very nice dark tone with it. I'm going to use that same song again, Auld Lang Syne, but with Trent Austin's TA-TF. All right, a little swing to that. And we'll try and keep that same style as we go to the Cannonball 727. 5-inch bell, incidentally, maybe just a tad more. Nice size bell. All right, gives you the idea. And for me, insanity is taking a large bore, big belled horn and using a big mouthpiece on it. We'll see if we can handle it. Okay. Our next feat of daring do will be using the Monette with each of these horns. Very interesting mouthpiece here. Of course, I had Matt Frost, great trumpet if you go to Frost Custom Brass. I had him take off the rim on this, which was, maybe between a 5 or a 3, and I play essentially a Bach 7 diameter. So I had him take off the beautiful gold rim and put on something just a little bit smaller. This is such an interesting mouthpiece, quite shallow, but got a big throat there. And quite a good sized drill. I think it's about a 19 or so. And one of Monette's claims to fame is that their mouthpieces play better in tune. I think with the big throat, it is easier to shape intonation on a mouthpiece. And you've got it close to you since it's essentially a lead mouthpiece. Very, very interesting piece. I don't think I get the shrillest sound. It's not like a shriek mouthpiece, but still it is quite shallow. And I think you get a nice commercial, slightly cutting sound. If somebody had a lot of wind, I think they could really make something out of it. Interesting, if you go to the Bach Loyalist, BachLoyalist.com, lots of information on Stradivarius trumpets there. Tremendous, tremendous resource, run free of charge by a fellow that contributes a lot at Trumpet Herald. And so nice to see. He mentions the 25, since it is, I believe, the smallest of the standard Stradivarius bells. Can be a little too shrill. I never thought of that. To me, the smaller bell gives you control. Of course, this is a corporation bell, so you've got the two-piece valve block. You also have the side seam bell on this. I just think these 25s, it's the third one I've had. It is up for sale. It's not because I dislike them. I wish I could keep a 25 sometime. Might wind up keeping this, but I've just got some horns I've got to sell. And Stradivarius is usually one of the easier horns to sell. So anyway, this is the Bach 25 with a Monette BLM lead mouthpiece, and we'll try MacArthur Park. Okay, and we will try that same thing with the Cannonball 727. And lastly, we will try that same thing with the Selmer Radial. Okay, 3 very nice trumpets. If you've never had a Selmer, I hope sometime you can get one. Old French-made horns, so well made. I remember the first time I got one in and was cleaning it, and I was just so impressed with their craftsmanship, particularly around the valve block. Cannonball, much newer horn, still relatively unknown, small boutique type horn. The Bach Strad, very common, but the 25 is probably one of the lesser models that you've heard of. Don't see a lot of them. If you like Strads and you've never played a 25, you owe it to yourself to try one. Good luck finding one, folks, and as I always close off, have for quite some time, and I intend to keep it up, do take care of yourself and someone near you.